Hallo?
Hallo, Herr Julian2468, wie geht's?
Ja, gut, Herr Pennywise.
Alright, dude, we've got a bit of a tournament to cast.
Yes.
Oh, we've got some FC Lucy chants already in the chat. Boone there with the big FC Lucy. Clap, 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 clap.
I knew I could count on Boone.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
Do we have a lobby open?
I don't know.
Not yet. Looks like no lobby just yet. So, guys who have been following the Seraphin Cup, which of course is the entire Legion TD community, we are on the final day of the Cup now. So we will have the semi-finals followed by the grand finals. There's a best of 3 and then a best of 5. The scoreboard up on the screen at the moment will show you how the teams have got there. So we had 2-0 by Slave against Potatoes, another 2-0 by the Gachi Commanders, which is a great name, by the way, against We Are Brutes. And then on the lower half of the bracket, we have Bring Them All Together, beating Fiesta Leakings 2-1. So a closer game over there. And Boykers 2-0 against Lord Stacken, which is another great name.
Yes.
So other than that, I don't really know many of the players who are in these teams, I guess because it is designed as a kind of new player tournament, so the elo's a bit lower. I don't really know what to expect. It's not quite, like the 2.8k Nova Cup Championship finals, but I think it's going to be pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, I think it's especially cool to watch because they are newer players and they don't, they're not so set in stone in the meta and doing everything in the meta way. I think we'll see some crazy plays and some crazy stuff today.
Yeah. Oh, Jammer's not a fan of my horribly overpronounced German. Es tut mir leid, Jammer. Aber nicht so viel.
Nee, eigentlich sollte dir das auch nicht leid tun.
Ja, klar. So.
Eichhörnchen.
Einhörnchen. Einhörnchen. Right, there is a lobby open. I don't know if this is our lobby. This is...
Ukuturas game.
This might be our lobby.
I don't know. If you want to check, go ahead. I'm not checking.
I will check.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting till half.
Oh. Ah.
Sounds like it wasn't our lobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will leave that lobby.
And that is probably a good choice.
They just went in and said, is this Team Gachi Commanders? Which I suppose if you're not Team Gachi Commanders might come across a bit weird.
Yeah, I mean, we all know you're a weep, so,
Yeah.
It's not as weird if it comes from you compared to if I did that,
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Exactly. So we still got another minute before the official start time. Teams
what do we
leaving
do
it
if
a
no
little
one
bit
shows
early.
up?
If no one shows up, we probably just have a 1v1.
Perfect.
Perfect. Green Spirit there with the frog and the clown. Very good emote pairing. I like it.
Yes.
Quick, Julian, fill time.
What? No.
Entertain the stream. No delay. No delay. The Polish stream. So the tournament is a Polish event, basically, being organised and run by the CFA people, and their streamers are going to stream without delay because they want chat interaction and stuff like that. And the whole point is to promote the game. So if there's no delay on the Polish stream, then there's kind of no need to have a delay on the English stream. It's there's no point. So yeah, we were basically agreed to stream without delay for this time.
Ooh.
So we might increase chat interaction by as much as 10%.
Nice. So we can just tell Green Spirit that he sucks for about every second sentence?
Yeah.
I think that counts as chat interaction, right?
I'm pretty sure it does, yeah.
Nice.
Alright, we've got Grizzly DAE. Surely that's... maybe not right lobby? That custom game. Does anyone know who's in Team Gachi Commanders?
I'm just kindly informing everyone that it would be easier to start the semifinals if the teams were actually here.
Yeah.
But, you know, can't have everything.
No. Alright, Agonist game is open. Agonist game.
Agonist game is
yeah, that's
okay. That is Team Slave, yes.
Yeah. Alright, so we have a lobby with 1 out of 4 players in. Is it a good start?
Yeah. Do you have a favorite for this matchup?
Well, since I don't know who Team Gachi Commanders are, it's a bit of a tricky one.
I mean, just judging from name, you know, you have to give it to the Gachi Commanders.
On the strength of the name, it has to be the Gachi Commanders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they are clearly more creative.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping for, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jama. Every misplay should definitely be followed by still did it better than Green Spirit would have. Absolutely. 100%. Good suggestion.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for the Gachi Commanders.
We are.
But I think with this amazing name, it's definitely fine to wait for them.
Yeah. I really hope they've got like a not safe for work guild avatar or something at the bottom of the lane.
Oh yeah, that would be great. Because then you actually need to pay attention while observing, that you don't keep showing it and don't zoom in and stuff.
I think it's a pretty fitting matchup, actually, Team Slave against Team Gachi Commanders.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Green, Jammer's onto you.
Yeah. I ask myself that question every time you end up on my team, Green. Every time.
Every time.
Is there any way we can find out who Team Gachi Commanders is?
I mean, it doesn't actually have player names on the tournament website, it just has team names. So, not really.
Ha! Huh. That's not ideal.
No.
No. But now Kolek has also left. Ah, he's back though.
He's rejoined.
Okay.
Gachi Commanders won a game against We Are Brutes, which might be helpful if we knew who they were, then we could check their matches.
Yeah, exactly. But I also don't know who that team is.
Okay, apparently Colic said that they've invited them.
That's good.
That's a start. Nice and prompt. I wonder if... Oh, they've started again. Okay, this is Agonist and Colic against themselves.
Nice. Good job, guys. 10 out of 10 would do again.
Well, I mean, we should probably cast it.
Yeah, I think it's better than just sitting around doing nothing, I guess.
Let's see who wins this one. I think it might be Agonist and Colic.
Yeah, I think you've got a point there. I strongly favor them as well.
Yeah.
Unless they just forfeit on wave 1.
Probably will forfeit wave 1, though.
Cash out. What a tryhard.
What a tryhard. And Cartel as well.
Yeah, tryhards. And insta-left.
Instantly. Which I think we probably also have to.
I think that does help. Let's see if I can surrender. Please hold long. I can't surrender. I can only quit. Please fix Lisk.
The lobby is back open again. We have 29 viewers watching Lobby Simulator, by the way. I see Shadowing's semi-final is already begun, so we definitely chose the right one to cast for the main stream.
As always. Like, it's the same thing. When I play with you, I get bad aggro. When I play with you, I get eternal Qs.
Yeah.
And when I play solo, everything's fine. And now I'm casting with you, and we're having the fucking Lobby Simulator, dude. I
mean, if we have to wait much longer, then we probably just go and spectate the other semi-final with Shadow.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I think at some point, Agonist and Colic get a free win, no?
Yeah, but that's not great content for the stream, so we have to do something about that. Which
Yeah,
might just
but
be casting the other final.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, as soon as, they get awarded the free win, we should probably just move over and also cast the other one. Yeah. Which is very unfortunate, of course, but I don't think there's much to be done about that.
Yeah. I think that's kind of up to the tournament organisers, which is not me this time around. One of the CFA guys will need to make a ruling on that, but we probably just need to go and cast the other final rather than Lobby Simulator for the stream. Let me just ask Shadow to give me one of the names.
Yeah.
Right, hopefully Shadow sees that and replies.
I have pinged the tournament organizers in the Discord to see what the ruling is about the default wins and stuff.
Nice one, thank you for that, dude.
You're welcome.
Alright, so since there's still nobody here, I think we probably go and spectate. So Shadowwings has said there's a guy called Krypek, which is Krypek. So we can go and spectate that game instead rather than Lobby Simulator.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they can also just message us as if the other team shows up.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. All right, let's go. Spectate Krypek didn't work.
How is it called? Krypek?
Yeah.
Let me try.
Oh, that worked for you.
Yeah.
Ah.
I'm loading. I guess I'm just more skilled than you. Oh, I see a pyro. Oh, I see. I see 2 pyros for wave 8.
Alright,
Oof.
I need to restart game, I guess, because it didn't let me spectate the other guy either.
Oh, I see another pyro. There's
Oh.
2 players playing pyros in this game. Oh no.
Oh no.
Alright.
No, it's not case sensitive, Gemma.
So if I asked you if the pyro player or his teammate leaked on wave 8, what would you guess? Who leaked on wave 8, Penny?
His teammate.
That is in fact correct, because the pyro player has a Leviathan, which is insane on wave 8,
And
his
every other wave.
teammate... Yes. And his teammate has 1 pierce damage unit, which is the Warg.
Alright, so we've got Team Poland versus Team USA here.
Yes.
That's a pretty interesting lineup.
Yes. I have not heard any of these names before, so I think it will be a very interesting matchup. And so far, it seems to be pretty close.
Alright, so we join here on wave 9. We've got a 50% HP King on the Team USA side. USA! USA!
USA!
I think Blue might be in a little bit of trouble on wave number 10.
Yes.
But Red is pretty solid there. Yukatara very well positioned to hold wave 10. Kripek also really not looking great on 10. Kadupson at least has the Leviathan.
Yeah, but he doesn't have enough tanks. So I think the king damage is probably going to even out, especially with these Saints coming in and the save from Kripek and Kadupson.
That's a bit of an odd call to save there, I think, for Kripek and Kadupson, because their opponents, well, Blue at least is very, very weak on this wave.
Yeah.
He does show some Serpents now, but he wasn't showing those before, and also 3 Serpents is just not it, you know?
Yeah, and I don't like it, because like you're leaking wave 10 anyways, and you're leaking pretty big. So you're much better off just preparing for wave 11 and just letting your teammate cover. And these Serpents won't be good on any of the upcoming waves.
No. Well, this is going to be big leaks now. Kripek just has absolutely no chance of holding. And Dubson, he did add a Disciple, so he's got some decent damage now. But the Leviathan goes down quickly. Yeah, he kept the Seraphin instead of a Devilfish. That's a bit of a yikes there. And this is a decent leak there for Kadupson, 67%. And if we have a look at Kripek, he's going for a 63% as well. But Hubesi, even leaking 41% to no send. So that just kind of highlights how weak he was on this wave.
Yeah, and that's why he shouldn't have built the Serpents, because now he just has 270 dead gold at the top of his lane, not doing anything because he doesn't have tanks.
Yeah. Alright, but here comes the send now, and Kripek does get the Ghost Knight out, which is just absolutely devastating against Hubesi's lane. Like, how does he hold this? He just doesn't.
I think it's rude. It's very rude.
Well, I mean, he's playing Pyro, dude, so is it rude or is it just Karma?
I think it's just Karma, but Teal is also playing Pyro, and he's using the Broken Leviathan.
Ooh.
So, you know.
Yeah.
At least he's picking counterattack, assuming that he's going to leak everything anyways, so might as well get some extra Mythium from the leak, I guess.
I think that's a pretty good assumption. Like, if I look at Teal's lane, I think there's a decent chance that he's going to leak to the DT Snail resend.
Yeah, and Blue also took counterattack, and he's getting the Ghost Knight, so...
Oh yeah, good read from Blue though. I wonder if he kills the Ghost Knight. I think he cannot kill the Ghost Knight. Maybe the Zeus can actually
at least the Serpents did a bunch of damage to the Hermit and one of the Quill Shooters.
Oh, he killed one. He killed a unit. He
wow.
actually killed a unit from the wave. Insane.
And
dude.
plus 45 Mythium. What a god gamer.
Plus 45. Red is doing much better, but still leaking. So we would have liked to see a hold from red, obviously with blue leaking so much there.
And
cover
the Pro
would have been
League.
nice. Yeah.
Pro League for plus 45 Mythium by Kadupson. What a god gamer.
Beautiful. This is a ton of damage though. The king is already low HP. They do have full king attack, but no spell.
Uh-oh.
They
Uh-oh.
survived this, but barely though. And look at the king. 4% HP remaining.
Oof.
That's skin of their teeth stuff there. One more leak for Ukatara and Hibesi is game over.
Yeah, but on the other hand, they can just go 13 now, and I don't see a ton of solutions for wave 13 on Team Poland's side so far.
Yeah.
Like, we have 2 good units, which is the 2 Zeus. And he has Millennium in his role, but I don't think, like, 1 Millennium won't cut it, and he definitely doesn't get the Doomsday.
Bit of a rough one.
So I think we're looking at a wave 13 send, and probably a wave 13 kill.
Yeah, they have decent Mythium saved up themselves, and blue is very weak on 13, and red is honestly not much better.
Yeah,
I think this probably comes down to a race.
Unless Team USA saves for next game.
USA.
Send!
And...
Send!
No!
Oh no!
How can you say past this wave, guys? You've got 0 chance of holding.
No!
Unlucky.
No.
Unlucky.
Well, at least they start next game with like 400 Mythium.
Yeah, that's cracking on 1 territory.
That's pretty good, you know?
Oh dear. Okatara and Hibesi. The game was so close as well, but then I guess this just kind of shows that in the mid to late game, like, one error of decision making can just end the game. And that's what we're seeing here. Like, these guys, I guess they wanted to try and send 14, but it's just not happening. There's no way that they ever live through a big send on 13.
Yeah, it's easier to send on wave 14 if you don't die on wave 13.
Yeah. I mean, Hibesi's leaking the entire wave.
Yeah.
He might kill the pack. He does kill the pack.
Yeah, but
67%. Red actually doing pretty well. The problem is he needs to do better than pretty well.
Like, he's full clearing, but
The
he
king
just
has
doesn't
4%
cover.
HP. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is if one creep reaches the king, maybe they are able to survive, but there's just no way.
Four is just too much.
Yeah.
GG.
GG. Unlucky there. I was surprised how well red did, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
I guess he had a lot of value, but, like, I guess it's just the Daphne and the Protons dealing out the damage.
Yeah,
The Daphne stack the marks up on the golems, and then the Protons with the fast attacks actually get quite a lot of value.
Yeah, Titan Arcter is also a really good tank. And let's be real, Pack Leader Dino Brute Double Snail is probably not the ideal send on wave 13. Like, if there's one, say, just this, skip income for a Siege Ram, or, do something to counter the Arcter, then, this guy just leaks instead of full clearing.
Yeah.
But, it wasn't necessary. So.
Oh, big wave 6 leak on the side of Team USA there. I guess they were that's what opened up the game for Team Poland. They got a lot of damage done on 6. 110% leak there for Hibesi.
Yeah.
And they actually didn't really leak again, or at least didn't take damage again then until wave 11.
Yeah, and after wave 11, they definitely had a chance to come back. Or at least race. Like, the race on 13 is probably won, because red holds.
Yeah.
So if they just send 13, they win the game.
Well, if red... Yeah, because red's going to have, like, an extra... 150
Yeah, they
gold
don't even
sending?
die. They don't even die there. He just full covers.
Like, both red and blue have an extra 150 gold if they send on 13. So that just makes them hold. Like, yeah, you're right. They just don't die. Because red's already holding without sending.
That's unfortunate.
Alright. we can pop back into that lobby again.
Yeah, there's some action with the other game where, you know, the tournament director is discussing something with the participants and stuff. So,
Okay.
but it's not quite clear what's happening and what's not happening. Like, no comments. Hello,
Okay,
Shadow Wings.
They're ready to play in 5 minutes, apparently.
Hello?
Hello, Shadow.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't know, because, you know, it's kind of over the deadline and stuff. 4 p.m. Okay.
Yeah, so the other semifinal is not happening?
So the other team have just woken up, basically, and they're asking about a default win. I think we should probably give a 1-0 advantage to Team Colic, and then at least we
Yeah,
can start the
1-0.
series.
1-0 is probably
Well, Paint Sniff at least seems cool with it.
I mean, do you want me to jump in on the paint sniffer and against
Yeah,
Colette?
sure. You can hop into that one. We'll take the Ukatara game 2, and then maybe we'll jump back into the Agonist versus Paint Sniffer game after this series has ended.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna switch over to the other.
Cool. Sorry for the confusion, Shadow. Thanks for
It's
helping us
okay.
out.
Yeah, sorry, Shadow Man. That's really unfortunate.
It's okay. I'm just gonna change my title and also yeah, leave the chat here. So have fun casting and yeah, very close, very good series here you have.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The half of the game that we watched was pretty cool.
All right, have fun on the second one and see you.
Later, dude.
Later.
Alright, guys, sorry for all of the ups and downs. We are now into game number 2, Team USA versus Team Poland. I think they have different team names, but I'm going with Team USA and Team Poland.
Yeah. The team names, I could probably find that out.
I think it's I think Team USA is Bring Them All Together.
All together, yeah.
And
the other,
Team Poland is The Boykers.
yes,
Which is
correct.
a great team name, actually.
Yes, I agree.
All right, let's have a quick look. So we've got a lock-in. That's a lock-in Pyro on Hubesi.
Oh no!
Oh, just zero.
Hubesi!
Zero moral there. That's just
That's disgusting, fam.
dirty
Dirty.
behavior. Meanwhile, on Kripek and Kadubson, we've got double cash out, which at least is slightly more respectable, you know?
Yeah, it's respectable. It's okay.
Yeah. And actually, Kadubson with the cash out Bone Crusher opener, which is really, really strong. He has it with the Nekomata, which is a perfect pairing on 2 and 3. This is looking like a pretty good open there for Kadubson. Kripek with his cash out doesn't really have one of those standout openers, but he's still got a pretty decent roll if I look at that.
Yeah, and Green Devil isn't really bad with cash out. Okay, he just goes Disciple. Well, fair, but I would have liked to see the Green Devil, I think.
Yeah. We've got the Pyro, obviously, from Hubisi with his lock-in, and a Pota roll there from Ukatara.
Oh, the snails on wave 1 into the lock-in Pyro. I think that's a mistake.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh!
Yeah, if they checked the previous game and saw that he was lock-in, then they could probably predict a Pyro start.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the kind of mind games, guys, that you need to be aware of. If you see that your opponent is always playing lock-in Pyro, probably don't snail them on wave 1.
Or, if you're always playing lock-in Pyro, switch it up and start 5 workers because you're not gonna get snailed.
Oh, the double mind game, I like it.
Unless.
Unless.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that Hubasi is playing without a tier 1 and without a tier 6. I don't know exactly what
Yeah.
his role was. I didn't see it, but with Pyro, you basically always want a tier 1. You can play without it, but you definitely want a tier 6.
I remember a bit from Hubesi's role because he had the Flying Force, he had the Windhawk and the Tempest, and he had Phoenix as well. So he actually had an insane role in his opener, but decided to take it a different route.
Yeah, I guess that's... I mean, typically I would say just pick the Flying Force, but given that it's a tournament, and he's probably very comfortable playing Pyro, because he probably plays Pyro every game.
So stick with what you know, right?
Yes. You just don't go for something you're not 100% comfortable with in a tournament.
I think that's respectable.
6 workers on Team Poland. That's pretty greedy.
6 workers also on Pyro, but of course it's Pyro.
So it's not greedy.
If anything, he should be on 8 already.
Yeah.
We have Ukatara dropping the Clara Pixie in a lower split, actually, so it won't tank the boss on 5.
Which is good.
I don't know. I think you want it to die on 5, no?
But then you're actually vulnerable if you pull the boss right. I like it in the lower split. Because like this, just the boss goes onto the Pota and the rest of the wave can still kill the Pixie, I think.
Alright, we have the Pyro player not pushing up to 8 workers, possibly fearing the Hermit here. He does get a Brute send, not a Hermit. And actually the wave is long enough that Kripek would have been able to get that Hermit pre-income. So maybe he kind of fired a bit too early there with the Brute.
Yeah, I think so. But given that Hubasi is staying on 6 workers, I think it doesn't matter what he sends.
It doesn't matter. If Hubasi full builds here, he's holding anything.
Yeah. Let's see if he full builds.
That's still an if at this stage. He's got 139 gold, so probably his best add is 2 bucklers. He instead goes for a bazooka. And this will be a pretty big move if that's all he's building.
No! No! The bazooka isn't even tanking!
Oh. Das ist ein mega yikes.
Unless.
I mean, it's still Pyro, but that's a 97% leak. And in Ukatara's lane, he also gets the 100 send. Pota does get another heal, but still, 57% there.
This hurts.
He had the gold, dude.
Yeah, and like if you're going bazooka to prepare the Zeus, it's fine. It just needs to be so far forward that it tanks.
Yeah.
Then it's still a full hold, or you just leak the brute. You know, it's fine. But this was a yikes.
This was not it. But he was shifting 94 gold as well. Like, he could quite easily have added a buckler or a windhawk, and either of those options would have given him a hold.
Yes. And I think also Red could have done a bit better by putting this buckler further back, because it full tanked for the Pota.
So the Pota just wasn't making the most use out of her healing ability.
Yep.
But we see Ukatara going into wave 5 with 390 value, which is good, understanding the strength there of the Priestess. Looking very, very vulnerable on 7 though, I must say. Both Ukatara and Hubasi are looking super vulnerable on 7.
But I think Team Poland is gonna panic because Red already has 130 Mythium saved up. So I think they will just send on wave 6. Yep, there's the brutes coming out because they feel so much pressure.
Ukatara saving, actually. Okay.
Okay.
So, Ukatara presumably wanting to go for a wave 7 against Kripek, but that's going to be difficult if they just die on. Well, I think they might do okay. So Hubasi does have his Zeus now. He's got 3 bucklers, which are solid tank value. And actually, Descend is just not that big. It's only a brute snail.
Yeah. It's definitely not that big. I wonder if the Pota is gonna tank good or not.
Yeah, this is really important. She actually tanks snail plus 1, which is not perfect, but it's pretty fine. It's much better than her tanking 3 and dying.
Yeah. But he's still gonna leak 2 creeps and a brute, I think.
Yeah.
But his teammate holds and will cover, so this is not going to be any king damage. And this is gonna be a huge send on wave 7.
Oh yeah. But meanwhile, how is Kadubson doing here against the 80 send? It looks like
DPS
he's got
Butcher.
the DPS Butcher, but it's still going to clean up. So it's a slow clear, but a clear nonetheless for Kadubson. Where is his Butcher positioned? I mean, it's a normal Butcher positioning. It's just the way the aggro worked out on this wave.
Yeah, it's just one of these cases where everything suicides apart from the Butcher.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is a huge send. We're looking at a 240 send on wave 7.
Wow.
But the problem with this is, even if Kripek leaks, Kadubson can just cover.
Yeah.
And then, you know, what have you really accomplished with this long save? Sure, Kripek stays 6 workers, but, you know, if you don't get any king damage with such a long save, it's typically not worth it.
Yeah. Alright, so there will be another 40 coming out here from Ukatara, either the Lizard or the DT, I suppose. And Kripek's doing his best here, so he's adding a Green Devil and a Gargoyle, some nice arcane tanks, but both of those are pretty weak against the Mimic and the Brute.
Yeah, and most of the stuff you can build for wave 7 is pretty weak against the 260 send.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So expecting a bit of a leak over here.
Yes.
Oh, he's focusing
Oh
on the Mimic,
no,
but he never
Penny!
kills it. He never kills it.
It's not a full-blown Penny leak, because he didn't deal like 1,000 damage to the Mimic.
And that's 12
Oh.
gold there snapped by the Mimic. Ukatara does leak to the no send, but I think he's fine with that. Hubesi will cover there. And we are going to get a little bit of king damage back on the side of Team Poland, so maybe not exactly what they needed, but it's a start for Team USA.
It's definitely a start, but Yukotara just lost a lot of gold from leaking to no send. So I'm not sure if he can recover for the send on wave 8. Sure, he's very strong on that wave in theory, but I'm not so sure his build will work out very nicely
His
for him.
build's not amazing here. He's getting... I don't think his send is perfect. Like the Dino, Snail, Brute, all of that is weak against the magic damage of the Priestess. He has 280 golds. So I think I just add a Leviathan on its own, right?
Yeah, with current state of Leviathan, this is definitely the play.
Oh, he
And
does! Perfect.
Wow! God
Perfect.
gamer!
That's a good play by Ukatara. I think this is just a hold now.
Yeah, especially against the send, it should be a hold.
Yeah. Priestess is actually tanking nicely on this wave. Now the Leviathan off tanks. The entire send dies pretty quickly. Can the Priestess survive? Oh, the Leviathan goes down though. Priestess is tanking so well, look at that. I mean, it's going to give her another round of heal.
Yeah, still leak.
Okay, 67%.
70%. Yeah.
But
Still-
Hubesi's going to hold again with the Lifesteal Daphne.
Yeah, but I'm fearing for Red now because he might just fall behind and start chain leaking now.
Yeah.
If Teal really smells this and, you know, he
Just
could
start
see
sending
that...
every wave, yeah.
Exactly, this was a full build, you know that. And you look at the build and you realize he's weak on 9, so you could just send like 2 brutes here or something. And then completely take him out of the game while getting crazy snowball out of it.
I
Which
think
they don't.
he doesn't quite afford 2 brutes anyway.
No, but like he's plus 65 and he has 80 gold. Like
Yeah.
you just push 2 more workers, get double brute, and then I think Red is just dead.
I think with no send here though, this might be the breathing room that Red needs. Because if he can
Yes.
add like a second Leviathan for wave 10, then chances are he's holding wave 10.
Yes, absolutely. And I think Blue is also holding wave 10. Even though he pushed 2 workers into no send just now, he stayed on 8 workers for a very long time and then decided he wants 2 more workers. Obviously that's not ideal, but
But his
I
value
think
is
it's
very high though.
yeah. It's better to late push than to A, not push, or B, over push. So it's not the worst play.
Alright, here's the send. We've got Imps coming out from Ukatara, Mole from Hubesi. We have Hermit Brute from Kripek, and just Income there from Kadubson.
Yeah, I think Hermit Brute is a very bad send against blue because you really just need to counter the brutes, the Daphnes, sorry. So you need to send tanks to counter the Daphne.
Ukatara, unfortunately going for Tempest spam instead of Leviathan, apparently didn't get the memo of how busted Leviathan is at the moment.
Yeah, and the Pota will just die first, even though you don't really care about her on this wave, so I think
But the
it's not a
send
problem.
is not great against him. Like
Oh, never mind.
The Drake and the Lizard is all ranged, of course,
Yeah.
which means it's not taking any of the passive damage away from the Tempest Leviathan circle. So like this, I think he should be able to hold.
Yeah.
Leviathan does die.
Easy
Yeah,
hold.
that's a hold though. So now I think Ukatara is back in the game.
Yep,
And Hibesi holds here too.
everyone just holds.
Everyone holds, okay. But I think that's more crucial for Team USA.
Yes, definitely.
Because now Ukatara is able to push some workers. He's up to 13 now. It's still not a crazy number, but I mean, from where he was a couple of waves ago, this looks like the road to recovery.
Yes.
Having said that, though, Kadopson is having a very good game.
Investment. I think if you're Team Poland now, you don't push workers and you just go 14.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Hibesi has 0 chances of holding 14. Ukatara can do better. Like a couple of Leviathans, 2 or 3 Leviathans is insane damage on 14. But still lacking those arcane tanks.
The double butcher gaming.
Double butcher, really interesting.
And the almost backline gun. It's also not the best build. So now I'm getting quite scared for Team Poland on wave 13 and probably just want to send on wave 13 so we don't die. Ooh! And Kadupson took the all-out assault, so now they definitely need to send on wave 13. Do not send on 12. Do not send on 12. Okay, good.
Okay. But now Team USA need to learn from their mistakes last time. They cannot afford to save past wave 13. They will just die.
Yes. And they also need to realize that the 13th send is coming, so they need to prepare for that.
Yeah. And Ukatara is going for a Leviathan here, which of course is very strong on 12. But the send isn't coming on 12.
Yeah. But that being said, Leviathan being broken at the moment, I think it might actually be one of the best things he can build for next wave.
And Hibesi's actually not weak on 13. He's overvalue, he's got double violet, he's got Royal Guards, which are great tanks. He's got Zeus with Steed to give it mana for damage. I think Hibesi can hold here.
Yes, and Team USA is definitely learning from their mistakes last game, so they're sending. I'm not sure why everyone insists that Pack Leader is the best send on wave 13.
Well, it's an aura. You have to send auras.
Maybe. Don't think it's the best send because it's just buffing 6 creeps.
Yeah.
Even though with a pretty high attack speed of wave 13, it's not as bad as it used to be.
So,
but it's still not ideal.
Hibesi, when he finishes building, is going to be overvalue. Ukatara is not going to be 200 undervalue, even when he fully builds. That's going to be a pretty big leak on Ukatara. I think there's just no way around that for him.
Yeah, he did get the Azaria, so maybe the Azaria can smurf. Yeah, but it doesn't tank anything, so...
I think that's actually not awful, because he couldn't risk her dying. She's his only damage unit on this wave. So having her not tank, like obviously having her tank 1 or 2 would have been perfect, but having her not tank anything is second best. Like if she dies straight away, then he just doesn't kill anything.
That is true, but I think if he builds correctly, then
he can do pretty well. Yeah. Alright, we do get leaks on both Quebec and Kadupson as well, so that's 5 creeps reaching King, and Blue is not going to be able to full cover this. So there's going to be damage done to both Kings, and this I think will favour Team Poland.
No, this favors Team USA by a lot because Kadupson took the all-out assault. Like, he could be at, I guess, 280, 290 income right now and just scale and win the game by scaling. Whereas now he's just much closer to the pack.
I mean, he'd be way over 300 income now because investments cost 36 and all out is minus 20.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
so-
you get 100 Mythium from all out assault, which equates to roughly like 30 income as well. So. Okay, when are we sending? So the problem for Team Poland is that Team USA is covering their respective weak waves.
I think
can't
a
send
16 send would be pretty crushing against Team Poland.
Yes, exactly. And you can't send on 15 into Team USA because there's an Azaria and Zeus. And you can't send 16 because there's
Pyros, yeah.
And so you want to go 17, but unfortunately you cannot hold. Yeah, exactly. So you probably have to realize that's happening and go for either 0 push and actually try to survive 16, or try to match them. Oh no.
15 send, but it's a weird send as well. Oh, look at post-income Shamans from Team USA.
Why?
Okay. I mean, Ukatara is just easily holding here with double Azaria. The send is not great against him. Pack leader Mole Snails. That's just going to get deleted by the double Azaria.
Yeah, but like on the right hand side, we have a Hades with lifesteal, an LOD with lifesteal, an LOD with lifesteal, a few cats. We have steeds for a Starcaller, Green Devils. Like this is not a. They are not weak here on Team Poland, and this gives them free 17 if this doesn't kill them.
Oh, I've got some interesting info from the chat here. So Krepek is the former champion of LTD2 Podhail Championship in Poland. He's a black horse apparently. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Well, they're currently 1-0 up, them and Jero.
Is the double Azaria player actually leaking?
No, he's holding. And he's going to cover as well, because this Azaria doesn't die, so she just heals up. Krepek does leak, that's really unfortunate there. 8% on the Giant Quad. But yeah, Kadubson obviously covering here with his lifesteal Hades, that's just an easy hold for him. And the
this
Azaria
isn't even
player,
full cover.
Not a full cover. So Team Poland, they win this trade quite handily, actually.
Yeah. And the problem with the 15 cent by Team USA is now you're looking at wave 17, and I don't see a single good unit on the board for any of the players on Team USA for wave 17. Well, maybe one Wanderer, and Daphne is decent, I guess.
I've got to say something for Team USA, though, because their Shamans were both sent post-income.
Yeah.
Which means it didn't make any difference to their ability to hold on 15. So
yes.
It would have been just much better for them if they'd saved there. Because now they could... Oh, we have a suicide on her, Bessie. Okay.
Yes.
So
or at least a full push.
They're going for a wave 17 kill, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's the best play they have, realizing that blue will not hold anything on wave 17.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine this ever being enough.
Yeah, I mean, Team Poland have more value, better value as well, with Krepek having Doomsdays, and Krepek having really good tanks as well with the Royal Guard spam.
We're not dying to no send. We're not dying to no
I think Red survives here. The Azaria gets her heal off. Okay, she doesn't survive. She can't apparently solo 3 creeps. They don't die, but this is close.
I mean, this is, as stupid as this sounds, this is good for Team USA, because, you know, when you go for a suicide play, but it's still just not going to be enough. I think yellow will do okay.
Yeah. Okay, so red just needs to spam Wanderers for stall. Like, there's nothing else that he can do here. It might even be like a seller's area for more Wanderers angle. I don't know.
I think that's probably correct, but he's not gonna do it. He got one more Leviathan, which is not ideal, but Teal is sending melee non-flying mercenaries, which is really bad. He really just needed to, you know, press the 4 eyes button very hard and spam DTs with the rest. So the Send is really bad, but I can't imagine him holding being minus 800 on this wave.
No. But I don't think anyone's holding. So the real
Yeah,
question is,
true.
can red hold for longer than both yellow and teal? Because if he does, they might be able to win the king race.
They might.
And all of the melee sends, as expected, are getting sniped thanks to the Leviathan passive. Ubesi, of course, full leaks. Kadubson, full leaks. And Krepek, he's leaking here. Oh, it's so close!
Ah,
Team
unlucky.
Poland are going to take this. Polska Grom indeed, Lenivk. We have a Polska victory here, 2-0 against Team USA. So well played, Kadubson and Krepek. They take a pretty commanding 2-0.
Yeah, they played well. But Team USA, I think they shouldn't be ashamed of this performance because they could have easily won both games. They were in a position to win in both games. They just made unfortunate calls in the mid game, which is very, very hard. Like, even the best players in the world make bad calls in the mid game sometimes. So it's very, very easy, of course, as a commentator to say, terrible call, But, you know, it's really, really hard to make the correct call every time.
Yeah, of course. I mean, when you're spectating, you've got the God mode, so you can see everybody's build and value and workers and when they send and when they don't and all the rest of it. So you've got perfect information. But when you're playing the game, you don't have that. Like, you can't see what your opponent is doing necessarily, especially during the nighttime. So you kind of have to just make your best guess at sometimes. And sometimes it's wrong, and sometimes, you know, that can cost you a game. But you just have to play to the best of your ability, and they did that, and they made it a pretty close series. Like, Team USA, they had chances in both games, as you say, and this one really came down to the wire. Like, they got pretty unfortunate on wave 4. Ubesi could have easily held this. Like, he shifted 90 gold, I think, on wave 4. So if he'd built a Windhawk or a Buckler, that would have been a full hold for Ubesi, and that maybe changes the entire pace of the game.
Oh yeah, certainly.
We got really good damage done to Krepek actually on 7, so that was a good play from Okatara. But yeah, Okatara was just kind of starved out at that point, leaking 7 to no send, leaking 8 versus income. Okatara was having a pretty rough one. A very good comeback for 10 on him. All 4 players holding though, so I think if Team Poland had been able to leak there on 10, maybe USA would have been back in the game.
Agreed.
And then we saw a pretty decent trade on 13, USA going down to 35%. And then we just saw the 15 leaks there. I would have loved Team USA to skip 15. Because they sent their Shamans post-income anyway, so they didn't get gold for that Shaman. And the fact that they were able to hold anyway without the send gold, it just means they could, I think, have easily won on 16.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Yeah. Ah, man. But well played Team Poland. Krepek and Kadubson, they do advance to the grand finals, which is starting 40 minutes from now. So we might be able to hop into the other semi-final if that's still going on. Let me just check with Shadow to see if that's still happening.
Yeah, I think it's a good... If it's still going on, we should definitely jump into that one. It's 1-0 by default for Agonist and Kolek because of the late showing of Paint Sniffer and his teammate.
Yeah.
So if Agonist and Kolek win the game now, then it's a 2-0 and we know who is going to play the grand finals.
Shadow says it's just finished and Slave goes through. So we do have both of our finalists. Let me update the scoreboard in that case. So we have a 2-0 from Slave against the Gachi Commanders. One of those was a death win, which is unfortunate. And the Boykers, I believe, was Team Poland. So that's a 2-0 for them. So we have the grand final. That's a best of 5 matchup. Team Slave versus the Boykers. Pretty hyped to have Team Poland in the finals, actually, especially since we're going to have Gluehammer and Tutek. Our star Polish casters will be casting the grand final. So that's going to be pretty hype for them to be able to cast Team Poland game. I'm excited for that one.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely excited for that one.
Cool. Well, in that case, I think we've got a bit of a break on our hands now with 40 minutes to go before the grand final starts. So I'll probably just stick on some elevator music courtesy of the campaign. And we'll meet up here again in, I guess, like half an hour or so for the grand finals.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. Well played to all of our semi-finalists. And Twitch chat, we will be back in roughly 30 minutes or so to watch the best of 5 grand finals. So don't go anywhere. Alright, guys, hello.
Hello.
Hello. So it looks like we've got a grand finals on our hands, Julian.
Nice.
We have Team Slave, that's Agonist and Kolek, versus the Boykers, which is Kadupson and Krepek. So pretty nice little matchup. We saw Team Poland, Kadupson and Krepek. They had a pretty nice 2-0 in the game that we saw on stream versus Team USA. So pretty solid performance from them in the semi-finals. Interesting to see whether they're able to kind of carry that momentum into the grand finals and take it to victory. So should be exciting. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, if they can carry the momentum from the 2-0 in the semi-finals, they might be able to cause a bit of an upset, because elo-wise, of course, Agonist and Kolek are favored. But, it's a lot of pressure in a grand finals, and if you can just, play decently, then you always have a chance to win.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Agonist and Kolek, they do have a bit of an elo advantage. Not overwhelming, I don't think. They're both kind of around the 2.2 mark. I think Kolek has been above 2.2, but is currently below. But Kadupson and Krepek, people in the chat were saying during the semi-finals that Krepek at least has a lot of pedigree from LTD1 tournaments. So pretty cool to see some of the kind of old school players getting involved in this LTD2 tournament. And let's see whether that kind of experience from the Warcraft 3 custom map is enough to give these guys a victory in the standalone game. That's pretty hype.
Yeah, definitely. And it's definitely an advantage, because they know, they have kind of, they know the concepts and they just know them by heart. So it's like second nature to them, how to push workers, when to push workers, and when to play in, a certain way. And if you've already played tournaments, you're not nearly as nervous for the grand finals as you are if this is your first tournament.
Yeah, exactly. So it might come down to tournament experience triumphing over like direct game experience. But either way, I think this should be a pretty interesting matchup.
Oh yeah, certainly.
But guys, it is time. The grand finals begins now. We have Team Slave on the left versus the Boykers on the right. And we do also have the two Polish streamers, Tutek and Gluehammer, getting involved in the spectating here. So this is pretty interesting. These are kind of star casters that have come in from another game, and they're helping to spread some hype, some word of Legion TD2. So really cool to see those guys involved in this. This is a Polish organized tournament, so pretty cool.
Let's see if Team Poland can be casted by Team Poland to win the Polish tournament.
I mean, they've got the home field advantage, right? So if that counts for anything, then they should be doing pretty well. And we see immediately 4 cash outs, by the way. All 4 players on the cash out.
Oof. Yikes.
And Agonist and Kolek, they're representing Czech Republic. So we still have a country versus country. We have Team Czech versus Team Poland. This is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, certainly.
If we have a quick look at some of the roles. Now, it doesn't look like anybody has an insane cash-out opener. We haven't got any flowers or bone crushers. Actually, no, Kolek does have the bone crusher. So if he goes for that, that is one of the best cash-out openers. But we'll see if he decides to do that or something else.
I think the consort is also really good, especially if your teammate goes for the bone crusher.
And he does.
Because you can... You
Oh,
can
yeah.
5-worker consort and League Wave 1 and have tremendous pressure, and he even has the gargoyle with it, which is really, really good.
Yeah, that's really solid, actually. We have a Oathbreaker and a Chained Fist opener there from Krepek, so he's not risking leaking to a snail on one. I don't hate that.
I don't hate it, but I also don't love it. Especially since he has Gateguard, and I really like Gateguard start over...
Yeah, especially with Steed as well, right?
Oathbreaker,
Gateguard
yeah.
and Steed is a very solid opener.
Yep.
Alright, so we have only one King upgrade, and that's from Agonist into Kadupson. All the other players saving their Mythium on Wave 1.
Tryhards.
Tryhards, dude. So going for a little bit of early aggression there with the Wave 1 Mythium save. And I wonder if anyone can get something done. So we know that the Green Devil of Agonist is vulnerable on 2, but only if he doesn't add. And it looks like Agonist is staying on 4 workers, which should give him a very, very easy hold onto.
Oh yeah, that's certainly a very easy hold.
Now, Colic, he is also staying on 5 workers, does get the Infiltrator out here. That should be an easy hold for him as well. Agonist, what does he decide to add with that 90 gold? He goes for the Warg, so this is just a free hold for both Agonist and Colic. Meanwhile, Colic, he continues to save, so he's got 47 Mythium now, and he will have something like 80 to send on wave 3 if that's what he wants to do.
I'm very worried if he gets Fiend out, because Fiend is really good against Oathbreaker.
Yeah, I mean, Brute is pretty crushing as well, right? Like, it just rushes down one of the Oathbreakers and then wanders back over to the other side.
Yeah, but Fiend is typically even better.
Yeah, the Oathbreaker just has no chance to kill it.
Yeah.
And
So let's
as
see.
expected, we've got easy holds for both Agonist and Colic. Colic now pushes up to 6 workers. Agonist probably does the same as soon as he kills this creep. He does. And now we've got a bit of a worker advantage over on Team Slave.
Yeah, let's see if they can put it to good use by getting a leak out of Kadubson and Kripek. No, they keep saving. Wow.
Ooh, Colic
And
with
7
the
workers
7th
from
worker.
Colic.
I mean, this is going to be a massive send on wave 4 into Kripek.
Yeah. But I'm not sure. Like, this is a huge commitment now. And Kadubson with the Fire Elemental should be kind of safe, right?
I wonder if Kadubson goes for the double snail. He does. So we might see a leak on Colic, though with his 7 workers, though, I think he doesn't mind leaking. Especially with Agonist easily covering.
Yeah, but, you know, Agonist keeps income sending, like king upping and stuff, so...
Yeah, so Kadubson's got a pretty easy game so far. He's still on 5 workers and is not pushing off of this king up. I guess he just wants to cover his teammate.
I think that's...
Oh, that's a bit of a leak.
Yeah. This is what I don't like. Like, I think Colic should have definitely sent here, especially with Agonist not saving. If Agonist was saving and they go for a big wave 4 play, sure, that's fine. But right now you're playing for an economic advantage, and leaking 70% just is so much economic advantage for the Polish side.
Yeah, but having said that, he is on 7 workers versus the 5 of both Team Poland. So he's getting quite a lot of extra Mythium there with the long waves. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world.
It's not the worst thing in the world, no, but the send is also not great. Like, again, here, Cannoneer Snail, I think if he sends double Fiend, Kripek is just not killing anything on this wave.
Yeah, yeah. He's going to get a second snail, so there's still 140 send. And Kripek will leak this badly.
Yeah, yeah.
Kadubson, of course, is going to hold, and probably be able to full cover as well. Like, the Sea Dragon and the Devilfish combo here is just insane. Like, the perfect Swift tank getting a load of extra HP from the Sea Dragon. He doesn't even lose a single unit. Meanwhile, if we have a look at Kripek's lane, he's actually doing maybe a little bit better than I expected. His Gate Guard does get another summon, which does kill another chicken. Still a 73% leak, but honestly, that could have been worse.
It could have been much worse, and this is no king damage.
No.
Of course, Agonist and Colic do have the worker lead, but this also makes them very vulnerable, say, on wave 6 now.
It's interesting to see if Kadubson and Kripek save now. Kripek now pushing up to 7 workers after the send here. Kadubson's still playing very safe, though. So, okay, he knew it was his job to cover his teammate here, stayed on 5 workers. Job completed, by the way, 0 king damage is taken. But now he's still on 5 workers.
Yeah, because he's getting 120 cent here, so this is totally fine, I think. Like, he's on value, he just holds, saves, and then they go on to wave 6. We already see Colic being scared, wasting 8 gold. Maybe they can even go wave 7 now, where Agonist and Colic
really
are
good, actually.
horrible.
Yeah, 7 is very strong against Agonist and Colic. Very, very strong. Oh, but they go for the 6, so there's the Brute coming out from Kadubson. And actually, I would have loved to see a wave 7.
Yeah.
Especially after the send here. So there's 100 sent against Kadubson, there's 40 against Kripek. These guys just are not under pressure, and I think they would have had great success going straight wave 7.
Yeah, especially when you see Colic is already boosting his infiltrators, so wasting gold.
Yeah.
Then you know, he's scared. Just go, oh no!
The 0 stacked Lioness. Schnerd would be proud. I hope Schnerd is in the chat because he's going to be loving this.
Oh.
There is another boost here from Colic. But that is going to go entirely into the Dragon Turtle.
Yeah. He should have boosted the other one, really.
Alright, so the 120 send against Colic. All 4 shurikens into the turtle, so a bit of wasted value there. Really nice split tanking though, over here.
Yeah. But he is still going for
A bit of a leak. Yeah.
50%er. And
Linus
Agonist
goes
is
down.
also leaking. So
Kind of interesting, honestly. Agonist with 600 value here. He's pretty much on value. Oh, he does get the Brute with the Death Rattle, though. So that's pretty fortunate for him. Krepek does leak against his Brute Snail, but Kadubson is holding against the Fiend. So a little bit of king damage for both teams, but I think this one can be chalked down to a win for Team Poland.
yeah, but on the other hand, we do have the worker and income lead for Agonist and Colic.
Yeah.
So if this goes later, in to like wave 13 or something, this income will really start adding up.
Oh, for sure. Alright, we get the gun out from Colic here on 7, so he's safe if there was any resend, but there's not.
Yeah, and the Nightmare for Agonist, which will also cover him nicely on this wave. But I'm a bit worried about wave 9, especially with these sends.
Yeah.
I think Kadubson and Kripek can almost full push because they're both okay on wave 8. So they can just push a lot of workers and get a lot of pressure for wave 9.
Yeah, and with the banana bunk here, Kadubson has 0 chance of leaking. So I would love to see him push, because he actually doesn't need to build anything for wave 8. He's already holding wave 8 with what he has on the board. So Kadubson, I'd love to see a full push. Krepek as well, he's doing very fine. In fact, he's just full holding here.
Yeah, and if he full pushes, he might pro league on wave 8 against the resend,
Yeah,
which
but
is
then
what
they
I
have
would
even-
hope for. And then you have like a 200, 240 send on wave 9, which is really dangerous.
And they do
But they're
save.
playing it safe.
They do save, that's really good.
Yeah, that's good. But I would like to see 3 more workers here.
Yeah. I'd like to see Kadubson selling his Polywog for a worker, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
And we do see the panic now coming from Agonist and Colic, so they go for the snail sends. They're trying to just get their income up, so they've got more value when the send comes. But it's not
He
here.
sold a bone warrior to boost his orchid twice.
So
That's
he's
a
losing-
lot of gold lost.
He's losing a lot of gold. It's obviously, it costs you 6 gold to sell a bone warrior. It costs you 10 gold to put 10 gold into the orchid. And yeah.
Nice math.
Yeah.
And he's still very, very weak on wave 9.
And here come the sends. We've got double pack leaders from Kadubson and Krepek. How do you feel about the pack leaders? I think they're good. I think there could be better sends, maybe. Like double imps against Colette looks insane.
Yeah, I agree. But, if you're not... Like, pack leader is one of these sends on wave 9. Like, it's not a terrible send almost ever.
Oh,
so,
yeah, sure.
if you're not sure what to send, it's probably okay to do it. But of course, Agonist gets the King Claw, which is really good on this wave, so you would ideally want to counter that by, say, the imps.
Yeah, and by the way, Colic just sold another 2 bone warriors, which I imagine 3 bone warriors, which he's turning into an alpha male. So again, the double imps would have crushed his build here, I think. Like this,
Yeah.
he's on value, he's minus 15, and I think he's probably just holding. Still a big send.
It's a big send, and he doesn't really have a lot of damage. I think Agonist is gonna hold because of the King Claw.
Claw's insane, yeah. King Claw is so good on wave 9.
Even though his Nightmare does
Nightmare is running it
suicide.
down, yeah.
It's a
So now
very
it's
smart
King Claw
Nightmare.
against the world. And meanwhile, in Agonist's lane, his tanks are dying, but he still has a full HP gun, so he's leaking, but like 3 creeps, maybe even 2. And Agonist is leaking pack leader +1. So
Yeah,
it is a leak, but I think it could have been much, much better for Team Poland there, maybe with a slightly better send.
yeah, I agree. But it's certainly not a disaster.
No.
This is king damage, and they are on the same workers. They are slightly behind in income by like 15 or something each. So this is definitely still winnable for them,
Oh, for
especially
sure.
with the king damage. So you're not hating this scenario if you're Team Poland.
And if we have a look at the builds of Agonist and Colic, they're looking really, really vulnerable on, say, wave 14, for example. It's just a case of Kadupson and Kripek finding a way to reach that wave.
Yeah, they are also not amazing on 12 if Kadupson can get a siege ram out.
Oh,
But I don't think he will.
Kadupson with the backline Gatling gun, though. Oh dear.
Yeah. But Team Poland, they do one thing very well, and that is cover each other's respective weak waves, because Kripek has the Butcher with the Avenger, and on the other side, Kadupson has the Bunk, the Life Binder, and the Fire Elemental. So they don't really have a clear weak wave that the team of the Czech Republic can aim for.
Yeah. Oh, but look at this. Because the Gatling gun is backline, it just doesn't do nearly as much damage as it needs to at the start of the wave, and that causes Kadupson to leak. So that would have been an easy hold with better positioning. Agonist leaks the no-send as well, which is actually surprising, because he's got good units for 10.
Yeah. And everyone is sending only income, apart from Kadupson, who's sending a pack leader, which is not amazing on 11. You really want to send income mercenaries for tanking here.
Yeah.
Because the pack leader dies first, so...
Yeah, the pack leader's going to have 3 or 4 snails in front of it, which will tank a little bit. Yeah, the double butcher is a bit of a question mark. A bit of a question mark. And the other thing about the double butcher is, no matter when he decides to upgrade it, it will like debuff the alpha male, because the head chef is going to trigger his Dominion ability, so that's a -7% on that.
Yeah, it would be much better if this was the lioness and this was the alpha male.
Yeah.
But, you know.
So pack leader, as expected, is just getting run down. It lasts for about 5 seconds, so not the most value out of that.
But his gun died, so...
His gun did die, so that's something, at least. But he still has the Orchid with Guardian Angel and a Dark Mage buff. So he's got damage on this one.
Yeah, but he's still going for a small leak, maybe?
Agonist will hold there, it looks like. Yeah, that's an easy hold on Agonist. And I believe an easy hold on Colic as well. Maybe not. The Lioness is life stealing, but it's not quite enough. But he's only leaking 2 creeps.
This is a hard push from Team Poland. What are they going to do? Are they thinking about resending? I don't like a resend.
I don't like a resend, but I wouldn't hate a Wave 13 send.
No, I don't hate 13. Even though we said 14 would be good, I don't hate 13. Especially with Agonist and Colic having also pushed quite hard.
Alright, we get the Lioness out from Agonist. So that's got some decent stats, a couple of stacks already. He really needs to get the Nightmare upgraded to Doppel though, because Nightmare with Guardian Angel is just not really a combo, whereas Doppelganger obviously is, with its ramping damage.
Yeah, and Kripek really needs to make sure he gets the Sovereign for next wave, and he should build a Disciple here, but more tanks.
Yeah.
This comp really focuses around his Avenger as damage, and the Starcaller as well, so you really need tanks rather than damage.
Alright, let's see, because everybody has a scary amount of Mythium now, and we do get the Sens coming out. So there's Ogre Brute from Kadupson, there is Brute Spam from Kripek, which I don't love. I would really like to see him sending something like a 4 Eyes or Pack Leader Imps.
Yeah, same for Kadupson. Like, I also don't like his send too much.
But Agonist and Colic save, though.
Oh, this is dangerous for them. We've
dangerous
already seen people save for next game on wave 13 specifically. So I'm not sure if Agonist and Colic are really reading this game correctly, because this is a decently sized send. And the only good unit I see on Colic's lane is this boosted Orchid.
Yeah. Other than that, he doesn't really have any damage. At least he's got tanks, though. Like, the Alpha Males and the Lioness will tank a long time, letting the gun and the Orchid deal some DPS. But I don't know that it's going to be enough.
Yeah.
The thing is, these Brutes into Agonist, they're just going to get sniped, because the AoE damage of the Kingclaw is enough to bring them below the threshold, right? So those Brutes should be pretty quickly sniped out.
It's not really happening.
Not really happening. Well, they're all dead now.
Yeah. And the Doppel is surviving on 1 HP, which is really, really good for Agonist, obviously.
I think that's just a hold for Agonist.
Yeah.
if we have a look at Colic, I mean, he's doing very well. He leaked 1 creep and 2 brutes. This is just not enough. I think Agonist and Colic, they're in a pretty strong lead now.
Yeah, now they are just winning. But I think this play almost never works probably, but with good sense, you at least get Agonist shut down and you get king damage.
Yeah.
And now it's just a free wave 15, I guess, where, you know, Kripek and Kadupson start panicking, they go king upgrades now, prepare for 14, and then they just get killed on 15, I assume.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. They don't really... Well, Kadupson has got a priestess, so he can maybe get an Azeria, but it is a backline Azeria, which means it won't tank any damage on 15, which it kind of needs to. It has got Magician, though.
Does Agonist hold the no send here? I guess he does.
With a doppelganger?
This is a really, really hard push by them.
Yeah.
So they need to absolutely end the game on wave 15.
Yeah.
And against the resend, they would have probably leaked very hard here. So if Kadupson and Kripek thought, you know, maybe we have to win a race or something, this could have been very, very dangerous for Agonist and Colic.
Yeah. I mean, this was 200 Mythium sent, so if this was, you know, pack leader and something, then they'd probably leak decently. But like this, they're able to hold, and that's a double siege ram coming out from Agonist. That is scary. I think Kadupson might be in a little bit of trouble.
I think he is, and I also think that Kripek is in a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
Because he's also getting 2 rams, which is not the best send against him, but it shouldn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an overwhelming amount of Mythium, right? And they're just so far undervalued. So Kadupson is minus 800 now. Kripek's a little better at minus 700, but I mean, the sends are enormous.
They do have full king, though.
They do have full king.
15 is still very dangerous for the king, but I think Agonist and Colic might actually leak to the income sends here. Not Agonist, but Colic might. So if this doesn't end the game, this will definitely open the door back for Team Poland into the game.
Alright, that Azeria, the Azeria does have Magician, it's worth pointing out, so it gets a decent chunk of extra DPS from that. But it's just not going to be enough. Like, he's killing... I don't even think he's killing the second siege ram.
No.
141% leak there. Colic does get shut down versus the income send.
Yeah, but this is not enough. They will die.
Kripek is doing a little better, but yeah, it's just not enough. There's 16 creeps reaching king. There's no shaman, though.
Yeah, but I don't think this is gonna... I don't think king can smurf hard enough.
I mean, one boss is down.
Unless
he gets one more spell.
Oh! Oh!
Victory.
Oh!
Oh!
Wow. Dying with all creeps dead. That's unfortunate.
Oh, unlucky, fam.
That is unfortunate for Team Poland there.
Oh, that's rude. That's just rude.
Alright, let's have a quick flip through the waves. Maybe if you want to try and join the lobby and let me know when it's ready, so we don't want to hold people up.
Yeah.
So we did see a big leak there on Colic on wave 3, but he had pushed 7 workers, so he really doesn't mind leaking there against the snails. It lets him get 140 Mythium out on wave 4, getting a decent leak in return against Kripek. And then we see Kadupson holding his wave 5 send, but he stayed pretty low workers the entire early game in order to do that. So Agonist and Colic, they have a pretty solid early worker and income lead. They do leak well on 6 and give off a decent chunk of gold back to Team Poland. But then they just keep income sending and king upgrading. The big send comes on wave 9 and it just wasn't enough. Like 240 Mythium enters both lanes, they barely leak. The king only gets scratched a little bit, and because of this they just have the worker lead, the income lead, the value lead, and it's kind of hard then for Team Poland to come back into the game. We get a less than ideal send on 11, and I'm being invited, so I guess the lobby is just ready to go.
We're waiting for the other casters.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, the wave 11 send wasn't ideal, but I still think it's kind of even afterwards. Like, sure, you favor Agonist and Colic, but it's just in the mid game, you just can't send on the wrong wave for a kill. If you send on a wave,
was just not ideal, right? Like the ogre brutes into the infiltrator player, and the brute spam into the Doppelganger and Kingclaw player, like, it just wasn't it. I think they read the wave correctly. I think 13 was a good wave to send on, but the send itself just wasn't perfect. Like, if that's Four Eyes or Pack Leader Imp spam, I think that would have been pretty nice.
And I think you need to commit harder, because even if this is a perfect send, I don't see Agonist and Collect dying, and then you give them free wave 15 with a huge send.
Yeah.
So if you go for this play, you need to make sure in the mid game, if you send to break, you need to make sure the enemy sends on the same wave.
Yeah.
Because else they can just save for like 2 more waves and push really hard and probably kill you with a 1000 send.
Yeah, which is what happened.
Yeah. But obviously that's super hard to do. Like, you know, it happens to the best players in the world that they don't read that correctly.
So here we are, game number 2, and we have triple cash out at least. Kadobson may be thinking to try something new.
Yeah.
No, it's
Nope.
a cash out. Okay. So we've got Pyro potential for Agonist, but also Bone Crusher, which is pretty solid. We've got Green Devil probably as the opener for Colic, a Crusher for Kripek, which is very, very good with his cash out. And Kadobson, not quite sure. He could open Avenger, but he decides not to.
Yeah. And maybe we should talk a bit about the Legion spells, because, you know, there's Venture in the game, which will mean there's a huge pressure point around wave 11, 12.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to pick something that is strong there. Or if you get saved on, you want to make use of either villain or hero.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So it is a Venture game, which is good, and you want to be angling to put pressure on wave 11. The problem is there's no offensive spell.
Yeah.
So there's not an easy way to punish that Venture. There's only 2 defensive spells to complement. So there's Villain and Hero, both very, very strong buff spells. And that means if you do go for a big send on wave 11, well, chances are your opponent just takes one of the buff spells and holds.
Yeah, but then you can just go income, Venture yourself if you don't use the hero too well. And, you know, it's all the mind games.
And Kripek and Kadobson, they both go for Snails here, which is just feed for Agonist and Colic. Neither of them did a risky opener here.
Yeah, but I do like the fact that they are switching it up in the grand finals. First game they both saved, now they both snail, which is really good, because if you're too predictable, it's very, very easy for the opposing team to read what you're doing and then counter it.
Let me just add a scoreboard to the stream there. I saw a couple of questions in chat.
This
a leap
looks
to no
like a
send there from
fiesta.
Kadobson.
And
Yeah,
6
I mean-
workers from Agonist. If Kadubson goes for the resend, I think Agonist is going to leak heavily, no?
And I think Kadobson
no, he
will
gets
go
the
for the
bazooka.
resend.
I think he gets...
He gets the snail. He should send it. He does not, though.
Yeah, and Agonist has 50 gold, despite being 6 workers. So with the bazooka, he's probably fine even against the snail.
And Colic does send 40 here. Kadobson, what is your answer? Because the build is looking a bit questionable, I have to say.
Yeah, it's a build I have never seen in my life, which does say something after 5,000 hours of Legion.
Yeah. He should be able to hold the snail sends, though, because he stayed on 4 workers. And of course the coil is just very strong, but the coil is full tanking. The aquas are ranged, so they don't take the aggro away from the serpent.
Yeah, this is really not ideal.
The build is not it. Kripek, meanwhile, he did go for a Fire Archer, but with his Crusher being in column 3, the Fire Archer just doesn't pull enough.
Yeah, but it's fine for
He's
this
still
wave.
fine, but it might hurt him on later waves.
Yeah, especially wave 4, it might hurt him.
Let's see now if Kadobson's decision to save wave 2 is going to put some pressure on Agonist wave 3. Because of course we know that Agonist did go 6 workers. He has 118 gold here, which is not enough for a bazooka. I wonder
For
what
a
he decides
Zeus,
to build. For a Zeus, yeah.
Yeah.
Goes for a mask, which is... I think that's not it either. The mask won't tank anything. Maybe it will tank display.
I don't know. Let's see if Kolek is getting an 80 cent with atoms, but he skillfully rolled Gargoyle, the very best unit for wave 3, so let's see if he can hold to the 80 cent.
I mean, this is pretty scary for Team Slave. I think we might see a bit of a leak here.
Yeah, and the thing with Mask is you either full
reactions.
clear or you full leak.
Yeah, this is... I think he's angling towards the full leap, but a lot comes down to this Bone Crusher and whether it can withstand the pressure of the split, and it cannot. But this is a big leak from Agonist now. 28% Colic, 69% nice from Agonist. That's 14 creeps reaching the king. A lot of them low HP, so it won't be a ton of king damage. But still, this is really good start now for Team Poland.
Oh yeah, certainly. And the Brute is really, really strong in early waves. So this is 16% king damage, which is entirely because the Brute is leaked.
Alright, Agonist doubling down on those bazookas. He changes his mind. He goes for a Fire Archer.
Yeah,
Agonist is incredibly strong wave 4, but there's no send coming here.
Yeah, and Kadupson shifting 50 gold.
I wonder if he's going for the Coiler on 5.
Or the Antler.
The Antler might be better, because we know that Coiler's
yeah.
full tanking once the Veteran dies.
It's certainly the better choice, so let's see what he goes for, and if he has enough to afford one of those 2 units. He might be forced to send on 5, which ideally you don't want to send into a Bone Crusher on 5.
He does.
But, yeah.
They both go with Brute, but Agonist and Colic are saving here.
Risky, but he does get the Zeus with the Crusher, so I think Agonist should be okay, and Atoms are really strong on wave 5.
Atoms are really strong on wave 5. They just tank so perfectly. Like, this one tanks the Scorpion King and nothing else. The rest of the build tanks all of the little creeps, and it's just a thing of beauty. Like, all of the Atoms are going to be low HP, but they're all going to survive, and it should be an easy hold. Agonist, I think, he just has a ton of magic damage.
Yeah.
But his Crusher is going to get run down.
Yeah.
Thing is,
His build, not ideal.
Crusher lives longer than the Scorpion King, though. Oh.
The Coiler is surviving, and the Coiler is good for the next wave, so with them not getting a send here, I think it's very good that he got the Coiler.
We've
but
got
if
very small leaks on both players. Just
if
the Brutes.
Agonist and Colic send here, I think Kadupson would have really leaked hard.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think he's amazing on 6 either.
No,
he
just
because
doesn't
the
have
Coiler's
tanks.
just going to take full damage once the Veteran dies.
Yeah, and there are the Brutes from Colic. Agonist saving?
I think he might go for a Mimic after income.
He might. He should. I mean, it's the best play they have, because they can definitely get a lot of king damage here.
Yeah. If he doesn't, I think it's a bit of a misplay. Because there it is, there it is. There's the Mimic. Okay. So this is dangerous now for Kripek and Kadupson.
Yeah, and the 3 Aquas are not known to be especially strong on wave 6.
No.
I do like the king ups, because, you know, they will take king damage here.
Yeah. But look at this, I mean, there's just no Coiler value at all. I mean, sure, it's swift armor, but it just gets run down by the entire wave and the Brutes.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty big leak there for Kadupson. Is Kripek doing any better?
Yeah.
He might be able to kill the last Rocco and only leak the Mimic? Oh, not quite. Leaking the Rocco on very low HP. That's a bit unfortunate for Kripek.
Yeah, but he did better than I expected.
Yeah. I mean, he's 660 value, right? Like,
yeah.
He should do quite well.
Yeah,
so
and with the king ups.
King damage.
With the king ups, it's not that much king damage. It's like 40% or something.
Look at the workers, though. This is a long wave while Agonist and Colic have the worker lead.
Yeah.
And the income lead. Agonist drops a boar here, which is not ideal. But Kadupson is just continuing the income drain, so he's not really under pressure.
Yeah, and you don't really have a good wave to aim for if you're Kripek and Kadupson, and you're already behind, so you kind of need something to really recover from this.
I think a wave 10 send could work very well against Agonist and Colic. They don't really have answers for 10.
Yeah.
I mean, Colic has the Ranger in his role, but Kripek and Kadupson don't know about that yet.
Yeah.
They should be able to hold this resend, though. That maybe gives them an opening.
This does give them the opening to go 9 or 10, whatever they prefer. I think they might go for 9 because they look weaker on 9.
Well, Colic
at least.
looks very weak on 9, yeah.
Yeah, This will probably make them send on wave 9, but Kripek is playing it very safely, so this makes me think they want to go 10.
Yep.
Which I like more.
And
But with the
Knudsen is
Daphne-
finally adding some more tank value into his lane, so the Coiler can live
Yeah.
for more than 2 minutes. Problem is, he's adding a veteran, which is super weak on 9. And actually, we're talking about Colic being weak on 9, but look at Knudsen, like, he just has no chance of holding weight.
Yeah. Yeah, and sending wave 9 won't work against Agonist. He's so much on overvalue that he will just hold on 9. So if
Yeah.
they send 9, this will be very, very problematic for them.
But Colic now showing the Daphne and Ranger, is proving that he's strong on 10, maybe trying to force the send 9. He's saying, look, I'm even weaker on 9, but I do have an answer for 10.
Maybe they are all just going 11 because of Venture, though.
Maybe, yeah.
Because this is the common theme, especially like in the... I don't want to call this lower elo, but like in the not top 10 games, people see Venture, so they're like, okay, I can't send on 10, and I can't send on wave 9, because then they can overbuild and still take Venture.
Yeah.
Overvaluing the Venture.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's kind of exactly what you say. It's like a tier 2 mistake, maybe. Like the players are good enough to realise that Venture's in the game, so they don't want to send on 9 or 10 and give a free Venture. But they're not quite good enough to realise that it's still worth sending if you can destroy your opponent on 10. Although having said that, Knudsen, he does go for a Mimic here. And many snails come out from Kripek.
That's actually the best send, I think.
Into Agonist? Or the many
Into
snails?
Colic. The many snails.
Many snails to... Oh, but Pack Leader coming out from Agonist and Colic as well.
Everyone is sending here. I flamed them, but they proved me wrong. They send on 10.
They made the right play.
Good job, guys. I'm impressed.
Alright, Agonist going for some bazooka spam. I mean, he's on very high value, only minus 45. Kripek also very high value, but a lot of his units are super weak on 10.
Yeah, and
Knudsen
I think
should hold here, though. Like, he has double coiler, he's got a antler to tank.
Is this enough? I don't know.
It's only a pack leader.
It's only one pack leader. Yeah,
I
maybe.
think he should hold. And the coilers are both straight on the boss as well. They're not splitting DPS on the pack leader. I think this is an easy hold for Knudsen. Although, I mean, as soon as I say that, it looks like his coilers are getting run down.
Yeah.
It's the same problem he's had all game. He just didn't have enough tanks to keep his coilers alive.
And the Daphnes are strong enough to
no. A 3%
Penny
leader
leaks.
leak on Kripek. That's pretty unfortunate. And of course, Colic holds. Agonist leaks a very low HP boss. Team Poland are taking even more king damage.
Yeah, this is looking really bad for them. Because with the Venture now, you just don't have any openings.
So we've got double Venture immediately from Agonist and Colic.
And there's not even an aggressive spell. You know, with an aggressive spell, I would have called for a full push 12 all-in in this situation. But you don't have an aggressive spell. So even if you full push now, like, you don't get enough for wave 12.
Yeah, and their workers are pretty low. Like, Kripek has been playing maybe a little bit too safe during the early game. And it's really starting to show now. He's only on 11 workers, pretty far behind both players.
And we have the hero on Knudsen, so you know he's already behind, and now he's taking the non-economic spell. It does have great value on his lane, of course, but
It should let him hold here at least.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, I think so. But 200 gold is 200 gold, you know.
Yeah, but if you take the Venture here, he's going to leak the whole wave.
Yeah, true. It's the right decision, but you know, it just feels so bad. He's still leaking. Oof.
That's a 50% leak, even while taking the buff spell. So I wonder if they go for a 12 send now into Agonist and Colic.
I think they almost have to.
Oh, Knudsen has disconnected, it looks like. So we've got a bit of a pause.
Yeah. Let's hope he can come back.
Oh, he's back, he's back. Okay, I'd love to see them send on 12. I don't know that they will. They don't have a massive amount of Mythium.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the 12
No, they
cent is
say-
gonna work.
They say, well, if they go for a 13 cent, that's definitely not going to work after the venture gold kicks in. I mean, Agonist has a Red Eyes here, which is obviously very, very strong, but he probably could still leak to like an Ogre.
Yeah, but then again, you know, even if you send here, and even if they take, say, you know, best case scenario, Agonist and Colleague both leak, you get like 40% king damage or something out of them. You get the shutdown, but then, you know, they get the venture gold, they don't leak 13, and what do you do on 14?
14's looking pretty rough, actually, for Quebec and Cadupson.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I think we're looking at a 2-0 for Agonist and Colleague.
Yeah. I think a lot of it comes down to this build from Cadupson. Like, he has no split, he has not a huge front line, so we just see his coilers getting sniped very quickly every wave.
Yeah. I think this is just a bit of a lack of experience. I think he probably just doesn't play with coilers a lot, and then, you know, you just make a mistake, and it's hard to fix a mistake in a game. You know, once you've started your build, you're kind of committing for a certain type of build, and then you're typically unable to fix the mistake.
Well, everybody is saving.
Yeah. I think it's the correct call to not send on 13 in a venture game, but I don't think it will save the East team.
And if we look at the values now, it's just such a massive discrepancy. Agonist and Colic both over 2.5k value, while
Oh, they're getting scared. They are doing king ups.
that maybe helps. That maybe gives an advantage back over to Krepek and Cadupson, who will now have more Mythium to send on 14.
Yeah, and they
Quebec
built
has
for
double
wave
Millennium.
13. They did build for wave 13 on Agonist and Colleague side,
Yeah.
expecting the 13. So I'm not sure if they can hold 14 now. They could have easily held if they built for 14, or at least one of them should have, I guess.
We've got a Centaur from Colic, which is pretty devastating against Cadupson. We have a Ghost Knight from Agonist, which is very good, obviously, against the Millenniums of Krepek. There is a leak to no send coming out from Cadupson.
Yeah.
I'd almost like him to just suicide push it.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. He should suicide push. It's their only play. It's not a good play. It doesn't have a high chance of winning, but it is a play. Please upgrade the left one. Please upgrade the left one. Kripek, my man. Get a Doomsday and get the left one.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yes!
Good play there from Krepek.
Pet the Kripek. Good job.
He kind of needs to sell this for a more useful unit as well.
Yes.
There's many, many snails coming out from Krepek also. Cadupson cannot hold.
No.
Not even close.
This
That's
is
a 420 send. This is definitely a race. But I think Krepek maybe can hold, although 480 is still a lot of Mythium.
Yeah, and the Doomsday isn't tanking anything.
And now his Dark Mage has died, which was a big damage boost for the Doomsday, of course. Cadupson with the 111% leak. If we look over here, there's 104 on Agonist. But Krepek leaks first.
Yeah.
So Kolek holding long enough there.
And they don't even die on Team Slave, unfortunately.
So this is GG, game number 2, going to Agonist and Kolek.
Yeah.
So they're in a pretty decent lead now, 2-0 up. But there's still a chance that the Boykers can bring this one back.
Yes, definitely. I mean, even with a very, very suboptimal start for the Boykers with the build of Cadupson, they still made this a game, you know? It wasn't like it was completely over.
If only
They still
Cadupson
played
had
to
opened
their own.
like a fire elemental, for example, I think this game goes very differently.
Yeah, I agreed. I agree.
They made some good calls. This wave 3 send was solid. They got a lot of gold advantage there on early game. They had worker lead.
Yeah.
And then, I think wave 5 was pretty good for Agonist and Colic. Both of them just very barely leaking.
Yep.
And they get
Exactly.
a ton of damage done on 6 because of that.
Yep.
Cadupson with his his kind of weird Aqua veteran build. He just couldn't quite convert there, unfortunately. The Coiler, every time there was a send, the Coiler just got ran down because there was only a veteran between the wave and the Coiler.
Yep. All right. I'm quickly gonna run to the bathroom. The lobby is up, by the way. So,
Right,
but they
I'll
can
pop
start.
into the
You
next
know,
lobby.
I'll be back in like 35 seconds.
Nice. Alright guys, so we do have a 2-0 lead now on the side of Team Slave. I'd really like to see the Boykers at least get one game out of it. And they've had a good run through the tournament. They're in the semi-finals. We saw them play pretty well in their semi-final matchup against Team USA. So they've definitely got the ability. Maybe just a bit of a rough game in the last one from Kadobson. His opener was fairly not perfect, and that kind of made his game harder than it needed to be. Here we go. Game number 3 is on. This is match point now. It's all or nothing for the Boykers. They need to win this one, just for a chance to stay in the tournament. Alright, will we see 4 cash outs again? We certainly see 3. Agonist with the cash out as well, so these players clearly cash out fans. Who has the best opener to go with that cash out? So we don't have any Bone Warriors. We have got, oh, Agonist, actually, what a cash out roll. Good lord. He's got the Avenger, he's got the Butcher. This is a and the Steed as well. This is a very, very strong cash out roll for Agonist. Let's see if he decides to go with that, because the Avenger opener into the Butcher on 5 is such a strong start to the game, and it looks like that's what he's going for.
I don't know. I mean, I agree that it's super strong and that he should do it, but there's the Pixie.
Oh.
I knew it. I knew he was going to do something like that.
And Pixie is OP.
Yeah, but I think he should have just done the Avenger.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Is Kolek gonna do some Windhawk or Gate Guard Looter shenanigans if
Just
they
to
go
have
for
a-
big pressure?
I think they might. Yeah, this might be why he's going for the Pixie start instead of the Avenger. Because obviously the Avenger is like a stronger opener and can snowball more into the like wave 6-7 territory. But okay, Kolek does not go with the Windhawk Looter, which is a bit of a shame. But they did get snailed last wave. Oh,
Yeah.
Agonist will leak hard to this though.
Yeah, I agree.
Agonist is going to leak really hard, I think.
Maybe that's why he played it safe.
Yeah, he added a second Atom there at the very last second, but it's not going to be enough to save him. He's doing pretty well.
Yeah. But Kadubson and Kripek don't really have openers that, you know, leak too heavily to a 40 on 2.
Yeah.
A 60 on 2 would be very problematic, but I'm not sure that Agonist gets a 60 on 2. Kolek, I'm not sure he gets so much out.
He has the DT already.
Okay,
He will
DT.
not. I don't think that Agonist gets a 60. Not quite enough time.
No, he gets 8 Mythium from the Chloropixie.
Oh, of course, then he does get a 60.
Yeah. That's why I'm here.
That's
But he's sending snails. Like, I think if
Yeah.
you do this, you go Brute or you go Fiend into
Yeah.
Kadubson on wave 2.
yeah.
You don't do the, oh, I want income snails. I think you really commit for a big leak here.
And with the Priestess and the Buckler, Kripek should easily hold here. Yeah, the Buckler just peels off enough of the little whales to let the Priestess get her heal value off.
Oh,
That's a nice
DPS
filter.
Wanderer!
Yeah, the DPS Wanderer couched up against the wall, the Wildshroom gets run down, and this will be a big leak from Kadubson when I think he could easily have held with good positioning.
Yeah. You need the Wanderer to full tank and die
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
Because now it deals damage, but it doesn't have any tanks left.
Yeah.
This is really unfortunate, because this could have been a full hold.
Oh, this would easily be a full hold if his shroom was just, say, 1 square lower. Then I'm pretty sure it's a full hold for Kadubson.
Yeah. And we have Kolek playing very safely, because he has Green Devil. You can push to 6 workers for wave 3, especially with cash out. So this 60 send on wave 3 by Kadubson is just gonna feed him.
Absolutely.
And then he can push a lot.
There's 0 chance for Kolek to leak here, and then he can go to at least 7 workers.
Yeah, and Kadubson pushed to 6 workers while having 0 good units for wave 4. So if this is a long wave, which it might be because of Agonist's leak, he's in a lot of trouble on wave 4.
Yeah.
So, and Priestess is not known to be the strongest unit on wave 4 either. It's not terrible if you can get it to perfectly off tank, but if you make a small positioning error, you're in a lot of trouble. Oh, Atom. Nope, the Atom is carrying.
What? Atom.
Yeah. Alright, Kadubson, what are you doing?
He's a big.
This is a
send
reroll moment. This is a reroll moment.
now.
But he doesn't do it.
None of his current units have any chance of holding wave 4, especially not against a Fiend.
Yeah, and Kripek adding the Tempest, which is... Ah, he rerolled for Cat. Good job, Kadubson. That's a really good play. I don't like adding the Tempest here, though, on Kripek. It's a 3-stack Cat, which is not ideal. You want 5 stacks on the Cat to perfectly 2-shot the wave.
Now, 100 send into Kripek. Is he able to hold this? The Priestess is kind of not tanking enough in the early stages of the wave.
Yeah. We've had the same problem in the semi-final with his Priestess not tanking enough on wave 4. And this is, once again, a pretty big leak on wave 4 and a lot of king damage.
75% on Kadubson, 42 on Kripek. And here's some pretty chunky king damage.
This is where you go wave 7. If you're Kadubson and Kripek, you push, because you have a lot of value. And you go wave 7, because Agonist and Kolek are both not amazing there.
Yeah. But they have to recognize that. They can't just go for wave 6, because that's kind of been their pattern in the last couple of games. They just send on 6, even if it's not perfect.
Yeah.
But if we look at Agonist and Kolek, like, they're so vulnerable to, say, Mimic on 7.
Yeah, you need Mimic on 7, but Kadubson and Kripek are both playing way too safely now. I think they are feeling the pressure. They're down 2-0, they took king damage, so they just want to make sure they don't die. But this will be their downfall, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, the 6 workers is just not it.
Yeah, you don't get enough pressure, and really, if you don't get a Mimic for wave 7, you're not leaking Agonist or Kolek on that wave.
No. Kadubson does now push to no send, which might actually be the correct decision. Agonist and Kolek are income sending. Please, Kadubson and Kripek, save your Mythian.
Save.
They do.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So Kripek now can almost certainly get a Mimic on 7. In fact, he definitely can, because this wave is going to be long enough. And Kolek builds the Violet here. So that just makes him even more vulnerable on 7 himself.
Yeah, I don't like Kadubson building an Oathbreaker and a backline Harpy for wave 6, because these are definitely not the best units you can have on this wave.
Yeah.
It will make him leak, though, so longer wave, which is good for them.
Yeah.
So maybe that's his intention.
Alright, Priestess not tanking anything, again, is clearly not ideal. That's
The
going to
Royal
make him
Guard.
leak a lot more than it needs to. Oh no. The Royal Guard was just way too low. Now the Priestess is tanking the entire wave.
But the Wanderer died first for once,
Yeah,
so now he
he's
can
getting some
actually...
impact damage in.
He's actually holding this.
Yeah, that's
nice.
pretty good. Okay, well played Kadubson there.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to hold. Good job.
And we do get the 150 out. Oh,
No!
with the pack leader, that could be
No!
a Mimic! It could be a Mimic!
And the Brutes.
Oh no.
You set it up so beautifully for the wave 7 with the Mimic, and then you set the pack leader.
Oh,
No.
no. It's not... Well, it's kind of terrible. But it's not that terrible. Like, the boosted magic damage is pretty good, obviously, against the Horror Pixies of Agonist. But it's really not great against the Pegasus.
Yeah. And Kolek is probably just gonna hold against Double Brute, Double Snail.
Yeah.
Although, he doesn't have the Coiler, which I was expecting, so he is lacking damage for sure.
Yeah, he has very low damage. But he's 900 value. And Agonist is also 900 value.
Yeah. And Kolek is on fire, so maybe we can get a bit of shutdown action going.
That would be pretty big, actually, for Team Poland. They kind of need any extra gold they can get. Alright, so if we look at Agonist's lane, everything is dead apart from the Pegasus, which is going to live for a long time, but it's not going to kill very much. Obviously, it's magic damage.
He killed his Atom, which was the only thing being buffed by the Pegasus, which is really bad.
On Agonist. But Kolek does hold. 900 value, it turns out, was enough. Who would have thought?
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because Kolek is on fire while Agonist is not.
Yep.
So they really wanted Kolek to leak for the extra 25 gold.
There's a reason Kolek's on fire. He has 11 workers, so he had by far the best worker push in the early game and was doing pretty solidly right up until now. Kadupson has finally taken the lead with that 12 worker push.
Yeah, but he needed to do that earlier. Like, I think we're... I don't know, when do you even send into Agonist and Kolek now? Is it wave 10 again?
It looks like wave 10. I mean, Kolek obviously has the option to go for deep coilers, so he could have 2 coilers on 10, but it's still pretty vulnerable to Mimic, you know?
It's vulnerable to Mimic. It's also very vulnerable to Ghost Knight.
Yes.
Fiends can also do well because, you know, he can never kill the tanks. And if the coilers are the first thing to attack the boss, then the boss just turns around and hits the coilers before the tanks die.
Yeah. Look at Agonist's value, though. Over 1,000 value. So he's relying on those pixies to give him Mythium instead of workers.
Yeah. And 3 of them died, so that's an extra 24 Mythium. So that's about as good as like 3 workers, maybe 4 workers.
Certainly not bad. Repek's still on 9 workers, but there's a difference. He doesn't have any pixies.
Ooh. But Agonist and Kolek send on wave 9, seeing the weakness of Kadupson and Kripek.
Yeah.
But if they can hold on the Polish side, this really makes Agonist and Kolek weak on wave 10.
Especially if Team Poland take the opportunity to hard push.
Yeah. But there is Creditor in the game, so similar things can be said about sending on wave 10 as in the last game with the Venture.
Well, after taking this income send, Team Poland could decide to just save their Mythium and go for a killer blow on 11 or 12. Especially after seeing this Avenger here from Agonist. Because that gives him a good... Oh, okay, but here comes the Ogre from Kadupson. Kripek with the Hermit, no!
And the Ogre, no! Just send the Ghost Knight, dude. He would have had Ghost Knight in income.
He would have had Ghost Knight.
Sad. Missed opportunity.
And the Hermit Lizard is just not it for Kripek.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. We even have a Pro League here. Like, this is such a perfect setup for either the 11 kill that you suggested or a huge send on 10. But then you need to not send the wrong mercenaries, unfortunately. I think they are.
I think this is just kind of where the inexperience starts to show.
Yeah.
Like, they're playing well, and they're even, I would say, identifying the right ways. They're just not identifying the right mercenaries to send there.
Yeah.
Sure, so we've got a question from Mad Matty in chat. Why GK would be so good? Alright, so if we have a look at Kolek's lane, pretty much all of his frontline units here are impact damage. And he just never kills a Ghost Knight. Ghost Knight has a 30% passive reduction against all auto attack damage, and its swift armor. So these impact units with a lot of auto attack can just never kill a Ghost Knight. It also then keeps the boss from being attacked by these units, which means the boss has a chance to snipe the Deep Coiler. And the Deep Coiler is really his only DPS on this one. So that's why Ghost Knight is so good. And like this, the Ogre's just 1v1ing the split.
Yep. And the Coilers get to deal a lot of damage to the boss. This will be a leak and shutdown from both of Agonist and Colic. So this is good, but this could have been a lot more damage.
It could have been a lot more. Like, Ghost Knight against both players is honestly obscene. Like, Agonist is never killing a Ghost Knight, Colic is never killing a Ghost Knight.
Yeah.
But this is still big for Team Poland. Like, they have the worker lead, they got double shutdown.
Yeah. But now it's just Creditor for Agonist and Colic.
Yeah.
I think what you do now is you take, you don't take the Creditor and you push everything you have and you go 12. One of you leaks and the other one is going for a hold. Like the Pota can just hold with like 1300 value and you leak on Kadupson and then you have an all-in for 12 which can work.
Yeah, but they're just building instead.
Yeah. And now I don't see Agonist and Colic ever losing this game. Because they can farm Creditor here, then they have enough value to full build on 12 if they want to, and they can shift on 13 again. And they have a lot of Mythium and a lot of pressure.
They already have just obscene value. Like, Agonist is on 1800 for wave 11.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of that is in his Pixies, obviously, which is kind of fake value because a lot of their gold cost is in the Mythium. But it's just going to be an overwhelming amount of value if there is a 12 send. Like, 14 workers is not enough to break a 2k plus value lane. Like, Agonist and Colic do send here, and that is a Ghost Knight into Kadupson.
Yeah, which is not terrible, but it's also not great. I wonder if Kripek is gonna go for a Leviathan here, another Leviathan, and then a few Bucklers maybe. Then he has a chance.
Let's go to Leviathan.
Yeah, then he has a chance to do okay-ish here. Sky Queens are obviously okay on 12, not the worst unit, but they only start with like half of their mana because of the...
Yeah, because his front line is halfway down the lane.
So that's not ideal.
Yeah.
But maybe he can do okay, because Ghost Knight is really not good against Harpies. So,
no, it's not.
As much as I wanted to see Ghost Knights on 10, I really don't want to see a Ghost Knight on 12.
And Agonist and Colic, they even greeded their Creditor here, so they're clearly not feeling scared. And that Ghost Knight dies very quickly. So to the guy in chat who was asking about Ghost Knight, you send it into impact damage units, not full pierce units like these Sky Queens here.
Yeah.
And with the double Leviathan, Kripek is doing very well. Not quite well enough, so he will leak. Shut down on Agonist, but Colic will hold. And Kadupson, he's doing very well, but not quite able to hold.
Almost.
Not quite. And this is a case where if he just had a unit at the front of the lane, he full holds there because his Sky Queens get so much more mana.
Yep.
Again, for any of the newcomers, the Sky Queen has an ability where it generates mana when it travels at the start of the battle. So if you have a unit at the very front of your lane, they get mana all the way up here. And their attack speed ramps directly the more mana they get. So you see their mana bar here. And when they move, that mana grows and they attack faster and do quite a lot more DPS.
Yeah.
So all it would take is like a tier 1 here, and those Sky Queens would all do a lot more damage than we saw just there.
Ugh, disgusting. Eggs.
Eggs.
I'm getting PTSD.
Oh no.
No. But I think it's the right play.
It is the right play. Like, Agnes can just say very low workers, get all the Mythium he needs from these Pixies. He has the Lifesteal Sovereign as well, which just gives him a very easy hold on 13. And for 14, well, he's just going to be on insane value, so he can afford to protect that egg.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I like the full send for wave 14 now.
There is a Ghost Knight coming from Kadupson, though.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good send.
It is a good send, but Colic's value is just going to be obscene because both Agonist and Colic took the full Creditor value on waves 11, 12, and 13, so their value is just going to be off the charts now.
Yeah. And, I don't... Okay, so I don't like the double Sovereign with lifesteal here, because he's lacking tanks.
Yeah.
He would be much better off getting more steeds or, maybe even like a Lifebinder or something.
Yeah.
But I don't think it will matter because it's 3.3k value.
And for the people in chat asking, no, there is no delay on this stream. The Polish organisers with the Polish guestcasters opted not to have delay because they wanted the chat interaction. It's more of a promotional tournament than it is like a fully competitive tournament, if you like. So it's fine, and we can just enjoy a bit more chat interaction.
Yeah.
Now let's have a look. 380 into Agonist. He's very strong here. One Sovereign did die very quickly, though. I think he might go for another league. Although this one's about to pop off, so maybe not.
Yeah, and the Polish side both are going for a league, so I think we're probably looking at GG here.
This game, and it looks like Agonist would have leaked, but it just doesn't matter, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
This is 13 creeps on a king with no upgrades. They're Agonist and Collie. They take the series 3-0.
Yeah. Well played to them, and congratulations.
Congratulations to our Seraphin Cup winners, Agonist and Collie. And a very nice, well-deserved second place victory there for Kadupsin and Krepek. So congratulations to all of our participants. I hope that everybody has enjoyed the Seraphin Cup.
Yes. I did.
I did. We did see those snails on one. At least it worked against Agonist this time around. And if Colic had gone for that Windhawk pack rat play that me and you wanted to see, then actually this would have been a massive advantage to the Polish team just from wave 1. So kind of good that Colic played it safe there.
And that's why we're casting and they are playing.
Absolutely.
They're just better.
They are better players, yeah. And better humans.
Yeah. But that wasn't ever a question.
No. And Kadupsin actually, he did reroll on wave 4, like we were saying. He rerolled into the Neko, which is very good on 4. But he had it all couched in one place. I assume the Neko didn't have 5 stacks as well, which is the magic number to hold wave 4.
It had 3 stacks. Yeah.
That was kind of an uphill battle already then from wave 4.
Yeah, but they did have the opportunity on wave 7, where unfortunately they didn't manage to send Mimics, even though the pack leader did really well against Agonist. I think Mimic does at least the same amount of damage, but you really need the Mimic against Colic to also get a leak there and the shutdown.
Yeah.
And then I think they had a great opportunity on 10, which they missed by, unfortunately, sending the wrong stuff. But
they still got good leaks, they still got good damage done, and obviously the shutdowns. But yeah, I just think if that was Ghost Knights there, because they had a ton of Mythium.
Yeah,
that
this
could
is
have been
probably
maybe a different game.
Yeah. But I still think like they showed great promise. You know, they are level 10 and level 12 accounts playing in Diamond. They are already doing good stuff. They are placing.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
You know, they're placing the right units typically. They are sending on the correct waves typically.
They probably just need to learn the mercenaries a bit better, right?
Yeah, I think so. And then they will really, really do well. I expect them to like gain a lot of elo if they continue playing in the next, I don't know, month.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, they were clearly identifying the right waves to send on. Like every time that we pointed out a wave, like wave 7 they did the send on, wave 10 they did the send on, wave 12 they did the send on. So they're always sending on the right waves. It's just the send itself could be a bit better. Like Ghost Knights on 10 would have been fantastic. For wave 12 they needed to push harder, I think. But having said that, they both leaked themselves on wave 12, so maybe they couldn't really afford to.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky in that case because, you know, you're already behind at that stage of the game, and then you need to take like big risks to come back.
Yeah.
And I think they also they definitely performed very well, and this will be their first grand finals they ever played in a tournament, so nerves are definitely an issue. And I think they played really well considering all the circumstances.
Yeah. I'd love to see the Boykers back into the Nova Cup, maybe Division 2 next month, or this month actually. We've got a Nova Cup happening in about 2 weeks' time, so anybody in the Twitch chat, make sure you sign up for that. Nova Cup is ELO seeded, so there's 4 different divisions, which means that there is a division for everybody, so don't worry if you're a newcomer to the game, you're very, very welcome to sign up for the Nova Cup. That should be happening, I believe it's the weekend of the 23rd and 24th of July that will be happening, so there should be some sign-up information coming out in the next week or so. Make sure you guys get yourself signed up for that. But yeah, this is the end of the Seraphin Cup. It's emotional. but we did have a very well-deserved first place there from Agonist and Kolek, and a nice runner-up for the second place winners, Kadupson and Kripek. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream, I hope you've enjoyed the games, and I think maybe if we let Julian have a couple of last words before we end the stream.
I mean, I don't really have too many last words. I just want to say thank you to the organizers for organizing a great cup. I want to say thank you for the opportunity to get to cast the grand finals. It's a great honor. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Thank you to the viewers for watching, and I hope to see you all around next week for the Shadow Cup finals, and then in the Nova Cup.
Are there any good players that you know in the Shadow Cup finals next weekend, Julian?
I think FC Lucy, clap, 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 is playing.
Yeah, she's pretty good. Anyone else?
No, I think the rest is pretty trash.
Well, Doofus and L1 are playing. They should be pretty good.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, but no one else.
No, there's a random clown playing, but he's not really good.
The clown and the frog.
Yeah.
Speed running our way to 4th place in the Shadow Cup next weekend. So guys, make sure you tune into that. That should be on the Shadowwings channel. He is in the chat, so by @Shadowwings, you guys can make sure to follow his channel, because that is where the action will be next weekend. That's going to be a fantastic cup. The Shadowwings Cup does have its own special format, which I will not spoil. He can explain that next weekend when it comes. But yeah, guys, make sure you follow the Shadowwings channel. That's going to be another very, very good tournament next weekend. And then again, Nova Cup, make sure you sign up for the weekend of the 23rd. There's a lot of competitive Legion going on this month.
Yeah, and it's amazing. It's a great opportunity to learn, and it's also pretty hyped to watch, I think.
Yeah, 100%. And for anybody who doesn't know, Legion TD is in the Humble Bundle this month. So if any of you guys are subscribed or would like to subscribe, go check out Humble Bundle. Even if you already own the game, there's a bunch of other good games on there, like Deep Rock Galactic. You can gift the copy of Legion TD to one of your friends. Make sure you get your friends involved in the game.